So we are nearly at the end of 2022. So it's the perfect time to do a quick review of my year on YouTube. So this year I made 45 videos, which is not quite one a week, but I'm not a machine. If you're one of the OG subscribers, you would have seen the change in what I used to review. When I first started this channel, it was a cake baking channel for cake bakers because I had my little cake business, and it's kind of evolved into cake reviews. As you know, I closed my cake baking business sort of after the main part of the pandemic. I just fell out of love of cake baking, but I still wanted to be involved in cake some way, so the review option was the best option. So yeah. So what I would say, my favorite cake cafe that I reviewed this year was Apple Butter Cafe in Covent Garden, Seven Dials, Covent Garden. A really nice place. It's quite popular now. I'm not saying it wasn't popular when I reviewed it, it was, but it's very popular now. If you check their socials, it's queues upon queues. And you probably know by now, one of my bugbears is I hate queuing. And Apple Butter Cafe is one of the places where you can't reserve. So it's like first come, first served. So what I would always recommend is, if you're going to go early if you're an early bird like me, because I'm an early bird. When I went, it was a Saturday, and it was just about 2 or 3 minutes after it opened, and there was like loads of space. So I would recommend to do that. I had the croissant bread pudding, which was really nice. Really enjoyed that. So that was my favourite cafe from my reviews this year. My favourite pancake place, because I went to a couple, was Where the Pancakes Are. Really nice place. This place you can actually book. And I would recommend booking, because when I went on a Saturday, there was a long queue for people who didn't book and were just waiting for a table. And you know me, hate queuing. I think it was, if I remember, it was like a kind of tropical based pancakes. They had like pineapple and coconut. But I do savoury pancakes as well. They have like 3 branches, but I think it's actually 4 now, because they've recently opened in Battersea Power Station, where they've got this big, massive shopping mall. So they've got a branch there. The Battersea Power Station is a place I want to visit, but there isn't a lot of shops open there yet. A lot of them are due to be open in the spring of 2023, so I'm kind of waiting until then before I go. But yeah, for pancakes, I would recommend, at the moment, Where the Pancakes Are. So let's go into afternoon teas. I feel that I didn't review as many as I wanted to. I mean, if you see my list of afternoon teas that I want to review, it's crazy, and it just keeps getting longer as I discover more and more. But my favourite delivered afternoon tea for this year was definitely the Cutter and Squidge one. And what made it really good was the savouries. It was a vegetarian one, and the savouries, they weren't sandwiches. One of the savouries I had, it was like a herby and cheese sort of pastry thing, and it was so good. I mean, me and my sister were like, we could just eat 10 of them. They were really, really good. So that's been my favourite delivered afternoon tea for 2022. So my favourite in-person afternoon tea was Fortnum & Mason. As much as in the thumbnail, it does say that one of the cakes tasted like cigarette ash, and I got a bit of crap from that in the comments, and somebody said, oh, they wouldn't serve, of course they wouldn't serve cakes with cigarette ash in it. And I said, that's not what I was saying. I was saying it tastes like cigarette ash, and it did. It just had this, horrible flavour. But what I will say about it is the best service I've had so far in terms of in-person afternoon tea. But what I will say, and this is the thing about afternoon teas in general, is that I still feel that the sweets in afternoon tea just don't live up to how good they should be. They have these nice themed sweets, and when you go and taste them, it's like they don't come up to where they should be. And I think sometimes it's because they're just trying to do too much. But I live in hope that I will get an afternoon tea where I think the sweets are like amazing, but I haven't had that yet. And also the Fortnum & Masons, for me, best sandwiches so far in terms of in-person afternoon tea. In terms of my most viewed video this year, it was actually a video of me reviewing the Just Essentials range from Asda. Now, this was at the point where the cost of living became a really big main issue. It still is. And as I found out, this wasn't a new range from Asda. It was actually a relaunched range from Asda. But it was very kind of a controversial range in terms of people weren't happy with, some people weren't happy with the packaging because it was bright yellow, and it's like, oh, you're shaming people who can't afford to get sort of brand stuff and they have to get the essentials range, and people are going to be looking in their trolley saying, oh, look, you've got essentials range. And I did say in my video, don't bother worry about what people think. You're feeding your family with what you can afford. Like, I don't care what people think of where I shop. Like I said, my main shop is in Aldi, which, you know, I suppose that is more fashionable now. And also Aldi is actually one of the big four. I think it's overtaken Morrison's. So it's actually one of the big four now. But that video, I've had so far over 2,000 views, which with my little channel of 90, at the point I'm recording, 93 subscribers is quite a lot for me. And it's had 58 comments. So it was quite a sort of heated one. And I kind of didn't expect that to be my most viewed video, because when I did it at the time, it was a last minute and I thought, I need to do this video. So I remember it was like 6 p.m. on a Thursday, and I said to my sister, I'm going to Asda. She's like, where are you going? I said, because I need to do this Just Essentials range video. So I went down there and got what I could get, what was in stock. And then I recorded that weekend, and it's my most viewed video this year. So I was quite happy with it. And the response, I didn't expect the response that I got for it, for me, who is a small channel. So what are my plans for next year? I'm still going to keep to the one video a week. That's fine for me. I want to do more afternoon tea reviews, and there's a couple that in particular I want to do. There's an afternoon tea on a yacht hotel. There's a yacht hotel in London near Docklands, and you can have an afternoon tea. It's probably going to be the nearest that I ever get to a yacht. And there's also an afternoon tea I want to do, the Cedric Groslow at the Berkeley. And the bakery there is very expensive. You might have seen it. They do these kind of biggish cookies, probably about that size, £25. £25. So I need to get myself down there. They also do an afternoon tea, which some people I've seen have been, and are not overwhelmed by it. It has no sandwiches, that's fine. But even the savouries, nothing to write home about. You don't get a lot of them, and the price is like, it's about 100 quid. But I have to review it. I need to see if it's worth the money. I'm also going to be doing a lot more sort of discounted afternoon teas. Places like Groupon and Voucher, which I've used Groupon a few times, but I didn't realise how many sort of discounted afternoon teas you can get on there, and on Voucher as well. So I'm going to be doing more of that, because like I said, the cost of living crisis is here to stay. So it's all about affordability really for me. So that's my plans for next year. But of course, this channel's not just about me, what I want to do. I want to hear from you, my viewers. What would you like me to do more reviews of? Let me know. More reviews of teas, more reviews of bakeries, more taste testing. Let me know what you want to see more of. Let me know in the comments. But I also want to thank all of you. If you've ever watched my video, liked my video, or disliked my video, left a comment. Thank you for your support. Thank you if you have subscribed as well. Thank you to my 93 subscribers. You know, hopefully next year I can hit 100. I tell you one thing, if you're not a YouTuber, YouTube is it's a damn hard grind, I tell you that. And I think my kind of niche is it's quite a unique niche in what I do. So I'm not expecting to get hundreds and hundreds of subscribers. But I'm going to keep going. It's something that I'm passionate in. It's something that I believe in. I do have a couple of plans next year in terms of Denise the Cake Vlogger brand. I don't really want to talk about it here, but I will announce it in my community post, which I've started to post. You know, I found out randomly that I had access to the community tab. So make sure you check that out, because I talk about stuff there and upload stuff that I don't upload in my on my channel or even on my social media. So yeah, so that is all to say. Whatever you're doing over this festive time, enjoy it. I will be taking a couple of weeks off, and I will be back on the 11th of January 2023. So see you then.